There are some really good pieces of equipment out there. It's showing evidence of something very strange that's happening regarding the process of manifestation, demanifestation. It's very similar to the paranormal aspects of manifestation and demanifestation, and the aspects of metaphysicality, because not only are these so-called occupants have the capabilities of walking through the wall and then being able to pick you up. It's like, well, is it physical or not? It's the same as paranormal phenomena. You know, an apparition can walk through a door or whatever, and it can prod you in the back or whatever. It's the same metaphysical aspects on both sides being utilized here by the same phenomenon in the sense of speaking. So on that journey is delivered so much throughout Project Doorway because we've learnt so many things. But we were so pleased that we did actually manage to get some conclusive data as to the existence of the electron diffusion region. Now we know NASA have confirmed electron diffusion regions, but they just don't want to say that they're actually not just atmospheric, but they're actually down on at hemispherical level, geology of the land and stuff. And of course, we've got UFOs going into hillsides, volcanoes, and
Mm.
into the ground, and it just sometimes they seem to be apparitional. Sometimes they UFOs are just seen to appear coming out of a tree. Just trying to make sense of this. We've got to wrap our heads around about the understanding, and I tell you where it's going to lead. It's going to lead into quantum mechanics. It's going to lead into all those areas, and including advanced AI. These are the areas that it's going to be pushing into, but we've got to sort of try and break it down because the problem is that we live in this box, this reality. We're part of that. We're in the box. So for us to understand it, we need to have a perspective from outside the box, and it's very difficult when you're in it and you're part of it. Because even through the double slit experiments, we know this matrix, this reality around us, which is constructed in our brain, by the way. That's all it is. I mean, quantum mechanics tells us it's all constructed up here. Even color is manufactured in the brain. So we have to consider, okay, so this is made for us. We're part and parcel of this. This is why it doesn't affect with other animals. This is why that when we're recording a double slit experiment, the waveform's still going to collapse because there's intent, there's consciousness of knowing what we're going to do. There's a very intelligence mechanism that's been created for us to be part of. So it's very difficult being on the outside. You need to be on the outside really to have a really good understanding. But it is very interesting, and the times of research now are changing very, very fast. There's a lot of stuff going on in the quantum realm, outside space and time photography, which is showing geological constructs, large geological constructs. We can't see them. This is not in your infrared and your ultraviolet and full spectrum and all those sort of things. It's well beyond that. It's literally out of our reality, phased out. But we are seeing
Quantum
things.
photographs. You just mentioned
Yes.
quantum photographs.
Yeah, quantum
What's going on
photography.
there? Who's doing that?
There's special teams of people which are working with certain types of technology that allows to take images of outside our space and time.
Images of another dimension, essentially.
It's our dimension, but it's an area that we'd be completely oblivious to. And just your average photograph, what people can take. They can take your average information because all photographs, believe it or not, hold quantum information. We don't see it, and it's the capabilities of the photograph and the cameras and stuff, but it is gathered there. And they're utilizing even that, not only be able to take the photographs, but looking at some of the old stuff as well for people that have taken photographs and look at them and put that through the analysis. And are starting to see lots of strange things around, which we would be completely oblivious to. There's stuff around in this world that we'd be completely oblivious to if it wasn't being able to pierce that veil and look beyond the realms of our understanding of reality to see what's there. And when you do, you start to see some very strange things, very large geophysical structures, some of them in the sky, some on the ground, cubes, all sorts of strange things. And we're trying to figure out, okay, now we might be getting just a little bit closer to answering some of the questions in regarding this UAP activity and the strange things that are being reported, how they can pop in and pop out of our reality at will, and
Mm.
observe effect, consciously connect with individuals. We know now that that conscious connection can happen extremely fast. And when it does, what people weren't realizing is that it's altering the brain waves. Sometimes when it wants to have interaction with people, it will shift our normal waking state into theta. Now, theta is like, well, you half asleep, hypnosis, daydreaming, but it pushes into that because we are highly manipulative under that certain circumstance of brainwave. Theta, we are highly manipulative, even our perceptions and all sorts of things. So phenomena can do that and interact. You can say, it realizes it's being observed, maybe through the waveform collapse of when you're looking at these things, they're intelligent. And then it knows sometimes, okay, I can connect if I want. And if it does, it can happen so fast, you didn't even know your brainwaves are being altered and basically prepped for some type of experience. And we're starting to see that in the data, as well as those that have had forced perception on them through for the phenomena. I saw a strange thing come down, I saw these beings or whatever, but are you truly seeing what it really is? Or are you seeing a projection in your mind of what they want you to experience? And when that happens, it affects parts of the brain. The caudate putamen starts to scar through forced perception. We're seeing evidence of that through people that have had close encounter experiences or very profound traumatic paranormal phenomena. We're seeing the effects on the human brain through forced perception. So we are literally puppets on the string to this phenomena. We're highly manipulative and very deceptive.
It raises an obvious question here. Is our world, what me and you see right now, are we like the African nation in the Marvels universe? Where they can hide
Yeah,
a whole city of Wakanda.
pretty much.
Is that what it is? So the whole of
Well,
humanity is being turned off, so we cannot see what's around us.
well, basically, yeah, because the world we see is perceived through consciousness in our
Mm.
brain. So this reality that we see around us, we're none the wiser. We just think we live in this box of reality, but that it's not real. And I've said to people, what is real at the end of the day? Real, and I'm not even going to say real, because everything is constructed in here. And it can alter and it can vary between people as well. Perception can vary between people. This is why you have people saying, oh no, it was round and it was blue. Oh no, it wasn't. It was square and it was green. And, this is what happens, because it's not, it can't be helped. Everybody's perceives something typically different. None of them are absolutely identical to each other. And we learned this many years ago in psychology. So we're questioning about the reality around us. If there is a construct, there is absolutely some type of construct. It's intelligent, it's evolving. There are mechanisms there to alter, reboot, change things, and it's very, very clever. And it's not just around us, Paul, and around the world we see. It's even stretches into the universe. Everything that we perceive has something prior to it or we're unaware of, and that's this construct. And we can now see it through specialized equipment. It's like layers of glass, and these different layers to this. That are the different dimensions, but whatever these things are, whatever lies within that, is aware of our
Of us,
matrix
yeah. Mm.
and how to manipulate reality. Because there are people that I was talking to some guys from Brazil, like about a week or so ago. He had this experience on this particular road one night. He didn't like it, but he felt like he managed to get away from it. He said, I never want to go down that road again, and tried his best to steer away. The following night, he's travelling, and this road is blocked. This road is closed. Diversional traffic. Or he ended up back on that road. For 3 nights this happened, until eventually on the third night they concluded the experience. They changed, it's like reality changed around them. There are people that have these encounters on a busy street on a Saturday afternoon, and they see this craft and they're looking around and say, where is everybody? Where's the people? Where's the cars? It's Saturday afternoon. This is a busy road. It's always busy. Where is everybody? It's like this, what we refer to as Oz factor type experience. Reality's changed. It's like you're picked up out of that reality and placed on the next level. Now, the next level looks exactly the same, but it's little differences, and these are the layers.
And that's
And
what
it's like
makes you think it's a bloody computer simulation
well,
because it's
this
like
is
a
the problem.
sandbox, isn't it? Yeah.
You really start to look at it and go, this looks to be like a computer program.
Mm.
Because not only does it look like a computer program, but there seems to be protocols here. Should this happen, do this. Should this happen, do that. To recorrect itself, to alert itself to a problem. when people are having these little incidents, maybe that something comes along and goes pause and then play, and you were none the wiser.
Yeah.
It could simply be that. But some of the scientists are saying the evidence of that could be through strange serendipities, coincidences, people that report them. Those sort of things might be an indicative piece of information that is indicative to that experience. In other words, when you have these little resets, what I'm completely unaware of, that there's something there that recognizes that, oh, it's strange coincidences. Oh, it's really strange. It's one of those things. How many times do people shrug their shoulders and say it's one of those things? We could write whole books of volumes of one of these things,
Yeah, deja vu as an example. Yeah.
Yeah, so many things. Maybe it is part and parcel of this little glitches that are constantly happening. We'd be completely conscious, unconsciously about. We would not know that they're taking place. Only through the process of maybe strange coincidences, multiple serendipities, and strange things like that. It is pretty profound about understanding because it opens up. And when you start to look at this and you think, UFOs? Not interested. Power up. They're the small fry. The big fry is the whole picture here of what
Mm.
this might consist of. Because we now know when we start to look at it all, this, and I say phenomena because I think it's a single source delivering multiple things, not multiple thing. I think there is a single intelligence and it's deliverable in so many different ways. It's the same dog that will lick you, that will bite your hand. There is no black and white. There is no good or bad. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same dog. It'll lick it, you lick your hand, and bite it the next minute. This is what seemingly this phenomenon does. But when you start to look at all this throughout age, it's going back even in time to ancient past. You start to realize the phenomenon has godly power. I mean, it matches everything that the so-called gods can do. It predates religion. It really does. So what's religion been based around and who are we really praying to? And what is actually God? But at the end of the day, this is the biggest pill you're going to have to swallow at some point. Is that what does all that mean? Has it been fashioned by NHI and these intelligences? I mean, there are no differences than the Mayan and the Aztec and the Inca gods wanting sacrifice, blood sacrifice. It's even listed in our own Bible, the Christian God that we know. If you look through the Testament, the Old Testament, it's there. I demand blood sacrifice. I demand that you sacrifice your children to me. This is our God doing the same things of all these other deities. You start looking at all this and you think it's all the same. It's all one thing, all doing the same thing. There is no difference, between these gods or our gods, whatever. But if you take away the colourful visual aspects of this, which vary drastically, and just look at the core of information of phenomena, the phenomena stays the same, but the mask is forever changing. And my good friend who I work with, Nathaniel Gillis, he refers to them as archetypes. Well, yeah, it's the same thing, masks, archetypes.
Yeah,
There's a
suits, costumes,
proto-intelligence.
whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it
What
gets
this
a
is
bit funny.
suggesting, though, is that there is some sort of fat, sweaty kid in a room somewhere just modding his computer game, of which we are that computer game. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be a fat, sweaty kid, but you understand that the
I
scenario.
understand. I understand the analogy. It would seem that this mechanism, I mean, just the whole thing on a global, just say global basis, the mechanism is huge. The work that's involved in that, and the monitoring, and the how this is done, and why this is done, I do not know. But this is what constitutes reality, far more than what we ever thought, to be honest. And the new research is pushes us in this direction. It's going to be, I tell you now, within the next 12, 24 months, more information about this, about the quantum mechanics and stuff, is going to be coming forward and really put into claim about what reality really represents. It's very, very profound. I mean, when it was first shown to me, I mean, it takes a lot to shock me nowadays after 41 years in this subject, but it shocked me of what I was seeing. I couldn't understand. And I started questioning, well, okay, well, I want images of underwater. I want images of in space. I want to know what the parameters of it. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter. There are no our reality. This comes before our reality of this construct. And what we see is through the construct we see our reality. But it's here. It's even between us now, in between monitors.
Yeah, there could be a
Layers
door
of it.
here, literally, of
Literally,
something
right
of
under
another
our
building or
noses.
whatever.
This
Yeah.
is it, and this is why I've argued this phenomenon, it could be right under our noses, and any time it could interact if it chooses to do so, and we'd be completely oblivious to this, But now we're starting to be able to see slowly, peer through the veil a little bit, and get an understanding of what might be going on here. But then he starts to open up a whole world of possibilities of like, what the hell is all this then? How does this mechanism work? Who constructed the mechanism? What is responsible for that? So many questions that we can't really answer, to be honest with you.
Well, no, let's add it. Yeah, well, I agree. Sorry. Let's add further weight to this. You said earlier, obviously, there's information all around us, and
Yeah.
then we've got these devices that will eventually see it, so to speak. That is essentially metadata, isn't it? All around
Yeah.
us.
It's like that of a metadata of a
Yeah,
photograph. It's
which it
hidden
goes back to the
information.
computer again. Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
it is. It begs a question, right? If these things exist simultaneously with us here, what do they do? Are they just going about their lives in their special universe?
Well,
Any thoughts?
they're certainly aware of the technologies that we're using and our effort in investigations. They show a great interest in what we are doing. We're unaware that we're watched, and monitored by phenomena, but we are. Especially if you're a long-term researcher and you've been out in the field and you're conducting experiments like myself or Trey Hudson and many others. Yes, they are monitoring and sometimes they interact, but it's what's going on in that environment we could be completely aware. We might see a
Mm,
ball of light move across the field. To us, that was really interesting. The ball of light moved across the field and it seemingly interacted with people. But when you start to look through the layers, you realize, hang on a second, that's just one aspect of it. There's all this happening as well. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, it's definitely tied to it. It exists within our reality, but it's not penetrable for us to be able to see through the veil for us to experience it. But it's there.
Now, last time I had an interview with Barry Fitzgerald, I mean, it's quite some time ago now.
Yes.
He was quite coy on that because obviously he was still investigating with you, and this was prior to your last visit to the mountain area.
Yes.
He said that rocks play a massive part in this.
They really do.
Why?
Well, the phenomena is tied more geologically to the ground. When people are looking up at the sky and saying, oh my God, there's a wonderful display of UFO activity up there, which has been taking place over months in certain areas, what what's above is so below. The thing is that we're too busy looking up there rather than the ground, the geophysical areas of the ground. The rock has a very strong connection with phenomena, always has done. This is why, in the ancient days, it was all many people were creating these resident chambers, geological locations to to converse with deities, the gods, call it whatever, through those areas of geological things. And it's just like it is in ancient days now. Throughout the UK, we can see sort of areas like Stonehenge and these other places, and the Lays. It's about the geological connection, and phenomena would seep through from that in caves. How many times are people going to be seeing things in caves? It's been going through history. It goes right back to Botswana, hundreds, thousands of years ago. The, they were communicating with reptilian type beings from these caves in Botswana. Same thing that caves communications um, with different inventors over the years that spent time in these caves and conversed with things. Um, Leonardo was one of them, and we've seen his drawings and everything. Well, that
Mm.
information was come through from communications with Source in a cave we used to visit quite a lot. Holy caves in India. They were never described as humans, no, non-human intelligence appearing in caves, and now hundreds of thousands visit every single day to pray to it. So we have to question everything who we're praying to. The Church, the Vatican have made a good little twist on this. They knew about these incidents with nuns, monks, and priests having these encounters with non-human intelligence and sometimes not very nice experiences, but they twist them. Oh, it's an angelic experience. It's a godly experience, and it's the same for many, many people that have had those experiences. And we know what the Vatican have done now because we can go back and look at the source material, and the source material tells you the truth, but this is before they put the twist on it into the scriptures and the Bibles. So the thing is, this has been around for a very, very long time, but the geology of the land is absolutely fundamental to the phenomena. Earth. Now, if you look into Scientology, this is what's really interesting. It's the unspoken word. It's the quiet church, and it's the church of NHI. It simply is. You know, it's the church for this phenomena. When you get into it, the first thing that you'll learn is how and why they do what they do. And one of the main things there that you quickly discover is that they believe that there was one source, some godly thing, even of NHI, and it cast billions and billions of them down to earth. This is how it's written in Scientology. And they were cast into earth, not onto earth, but into earth. Very similar to the stories of Satan being cast down from the heavens to planet Earth, you know, into the earth. The earth fractures and they seep out and they embody themselves with humans. NHI embody themselves with humans. What Scientology is trying to get you to achieve is to do exactly the same thing that NHI can do, is manipulate reality. And what they believe is that you can purge yourself of the embodiment of NHI within you. And once you purge yourself, it allows you to be able to manipulate reality just like NHI can. And hence, this is why the rich and famous want to sort of manipulate their reality because they want to go. It's health, it's wealth, it's success, it's all those things. This is why you got a lot of people with money involved in these sort of things.